With the saints, through Our Lady, through our Lord, we prevail. This video is to just open for discussion. If anybody replies or anything, or maybe a share just to kind of put in people's mind. The past 2 days I've been having discussions or reading or both with people about a couple of things. One, uh, if it's true, came across my feed that we're sending National Guard troops and Marines to quell protests. Quell. Anybody who knows the Hunger Games will know what that means. So, sending devil dogs against our own people. This is significant, you know. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of Kent State. Actually, I had a teacher in high school that she was there, or her husband, one of the two. They were actually there when things got out of control. Yeah, the protesters were out of control, but when you bring firearms, that makes things worse. Um, when you bring firearms to a protest without de-escalation, generally rules of engagement when when violence is used according to the rules of engagement, that violence is returned and escalated to end the conflict. So that's exactly what happened. And I forget how many died at Kent State, but people died. And, that seems to be forgotten now. But my thoughts in this video are the rise in fascism within our country and why some people, whether they love our country or they've abandoned our ideal, they're concerned the direction we're going. And the way I'm looking at it is from 2 points. One point of reference is the fact that we're, instead of letting the police call in extra state police, call in reserve deputies. There's so much you can do. So much you can do. CHP has so many officers throughout the whole state. We're talking about thousands of officers. Thousands. I can't say how many thousand, but I guarantee it's not 1 or 2,000. You're talking about thousands of California Highway Patrol plus local police. And then you add in reserve deputies and reserve CHP. We're talking about millions. Just call them up. It's that easy. They're blocking highways and stuff. Yes, this is a problem, but it's nothing new. In our history, we've seen things like this happen. And the definition of the direction we're going and the leaders who are in power at the time is how it's handled. This is what defines these people, how they handle it. You could go back to Kent State, you can go back to Rodney King, you can go back to the to the excuse me riots during the '60s. You can go to the Michigan State riots, a bunch of drunk college kids. This is nothing new. You can go to St. Louis, you can go to Seattle, you can go to Portland. Have I forgotten? Oh, Minneapolis. This is nothing new. And sometimes things get out of hand, especially when you include, out of control emotions and drugs or alcohol. This is nothing new. What defines us and the leaders at the time is how we handle it. So we call up Marines. Every Marine is a trained weapon. And we're calling up Marines against our own people? I think they call up the Marine Corps because they know the Corps they love our country. They love the flag. You know, Two things a Marine sleeps with. This is coming from a lot of Marines I know: their spouse and the flag. So I don't know. I think we're going in a bad direction. I don't blame the Corps for this at all. I just think we're going in a bad direction. This is from the right. And this is very concerning, very concerning. Because all it is people expressing their their disgust at the treatment of people. I mean, yeah, the immigration system is broken, but we're throwing people in cages. We're separating children from their parents. We're separating parents and their children from grandparents. All kinds of stuff. And we're deporting people just based on, oh, yep, they speak Spanish. Let's send them there. If somebody is a Spanish speaker, they may have no connection at all to a particular country. Oh, just send them there. This is just bonkers. Bonkers. Yeah, we need to fix the immigration system. But yet, it doesn't mean we need to deny people immigration. When those boats pulled into Ellis Island or Philadelphia and they were full of people, nobody was turned away 250 years ago. Not even 200 years ago. Not even 150 years ago. They didn't send the whole boat away. That didn't start until shortly after World War One and during World War Two. They started sending people away. And now we're sending everybody away? What, you have to be the winner of some ridiculous lottery program to get into the States? Or you have to be a tourist, which means you already meet pretty much meet the criteria to be a U.S. citizen anyway. Seems to me, looking at the right, we've lost our way. We've wandered very far from our roots. But yet, the right claims to be re-embracing them. I disagree. And then we turn to the left. Now, this is something, like I said, two different points of reference. Reading about PTSD and the PTSD rating system and how it basically weaponizes the VA. If you have a provider who doesn't like you, or a couple of social workers who don't like you, and a veteran has a PTSD rating of any particular, 10 to all the way to 90%, it's so ambiguous and arbitrary that it empowers people to take away that veteran's his shotgun, his rifle to hunt, his handgun to protect his family. They can take it all in one foul swoop. And then you have people, my sympathy definitely for those communities who've been shocked and ripped apart and traumatized by shootings largely by high school and other youth. But yet they use this to weaponize the Second Amendment to target people like me, veterans who are older with health issues that are in the CNP system, to take away our weapons. We're not a threat, or to take away the weapons of somebody who maybe a hunter or lives in a bad neighborhood. Oh no, we're going to take away your weapon. You meet the criteria for a red flag. This is fascism from the left. So the way I look at it, I see fascism from the right and the left. And that's very concerning. Thank God I'm a libertarian. But when I see fascism rising from the right and the left, that means, without a doubt, democracy is in crisis. The American ideal is in crisis. The American dream is being seized by somebody who is not one of us normal folks.